Books tend to find you. The reason why I say that is because every once in a while you will come across a title which will be recommended to you by somebody, or you will just find it online and you would get intrigued by the title or the cover of the book, and you will make a mental note of it in your head and you say, I'll check this book a little later. And then you will find this book everywhere. The bookstall that you go to will have one copy. You go to Instagram and somebody's talking about that book. You are just scrolling and you will find something about this book or this author on your Twitter feed, or somebody, even on Goodreads, somebody will start talking about this book. The book that I'm going to talk to you about today, that you've already probably seen in the thumbnail or the title of the video or the podcast, is one such book in my life. Hello and welcome to I Urge You To, a podcast where I talk to you about books, movies, documentaries, TV series, podcasts, or anything else that has had a severe impact on me, and I would like the entire world to consume the same. I'm Manish Ahuja. I'm a money mindset and business development coach. I create a lot of content around business, around money, about personal finance, law of attraction. But on this particular podcast, I'm only going to give you recommendations because I just want people to get exposed to as many beautiful things that I have come across. This podcast has been made possible by Paycheck To Profit, my business brand, which I'll talk about a little later in the episode. But now let's talk to you about Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. This is a beautiful book written by a debutante author, which was so unbelievable for me. Gail Honeyman has written this book. It's a fictional story, a slice of life about this character, obviously Eleanor Oliphant. Now, who is Eleanor Oliphant? She is a random nobody going to office, living an absolutely simple life, but all the things that I want to tell you about, but I will not be sharing in this particular episode because I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I'll tell you one thing. But there is so much more to Eleanor Oliphant. She is somebody who has had a past. She is somebody who's trying to overcome something without even knowing that she is in a particular journey. But what I can share with you is, in this particular routine life of hers, she comes across two people. These two people are Raymond Gibbons and an old person called Sammy. Now, metaphorically, these two people are like boats which take Eleanor from one island of life to another. It's because of Raymond and Sammy that Eleanor is put in situations which she probably does not even want to. She meets people who she would have otherwise never met. And all these incidents, when tied together, bring across this entire story which has been narrated in such a beautiful, beautiful manner. I can't believe that this book it's one of those books that ends and you say, I want more of it. But let's talk about some serious topics. This book talks about some very, very, very serious subjects like loss, grief, bad childhood, troubled childhood, trauma, PTSD. So, if you're somebody who is not feeling prepared to read a book that talks about subjects like these, you may want to stay a little away from this book. However, I'll be a little vulnerable and tell you, I was not in the best place in my life when I started reading this book. However, Gail Honeyman takes care of you. She's written this book in a very sensitive manner. In fact, that's the best part about this particular book that I'll tell you a little later. The entire book is written, it's a funny book. All the incidents, although they seem disconnected from each other as the book progresses, and once you start coming towards the latter half, or maybe let's say the last 25% of the book, you understand that everything was a build-up. Absolutely everything was a build-up. Not a single word or a particular incident or a particular subplot or a particular side character was presented to you just for the sake of filling up the words. Everything is like a piece that fits in the jigsaw puzzle towards the end of the book in such a beautiful way. Before I tell you about the best thing that makes me want to recommend this book as my first episode on this particular podcast, let me take a minute and tell you about Paycheck To Profit. Paycheck To Profit is a community of like-minded people who are coming together to learn about concepts like money mindset, how to build a new relationship with money, a concept called money blocks, which nobody is talking about because they don't talk about money blocks. People don't even know how to eliminate these money blocks, which are so important. Law of attraction, how to get financially literate, how to start taking control of your investments and get financially free. If these are some of the subjects that you are interested in, please check the description of this particular episode and you'll find a link to something called as a Profit Clan. That's an email community where I send out updates about everything that I'm doing with regards to Paycheck to Profit. That could be new videos on YouTube, new podcast episodes, some content on Reels that has gone viral, which could help multiple people, and about my community, workshops, or webinars that I do for Paycheck to Profit. So make sure to check the link. You could also choose to sign up for a WhatsApp update for the same for Paycheck to Profit. All these registrations are absolutely free. Just go to the links below and go to the description and figure out about all of these things. The best part about Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine is the way Gail Honeyman has written this book. I don't want to get into the spoiler territory. That is not something that I'll ever do on this podcast or in life. Is that there's this one incident that has had a severe impact on Eleanor's life, and you get very small bits and pieces about this particular incident throughout the book in such a way that for you to understand the entire scene, you will have to wait until when the 80% of the book is already done. That's when you understand what exactly happened. Why is Eleanor the way she is? What makes her so reclusive? What makes her so detached to the world? What makes her not want to trust people? And that's when so many situations, thought processes, and so many difficulties that this particular character has gone through makes sense to you. And that's the best part of the book. That's the payoff of the book. Absolutely does not disappoint. For that matter of fact, the only disappointment that I was left with, as I mentioned a few minutes earlier in this episode, is I wanted this book to not end. I wanted this book to be twice as long, because that's how much I fell in love with Eleanor and Raymond and all the other characters that I spoke about. If you have gotten intrigued about this book, I will definitely tell you to get a copy. It absolutely does not disappoint. You will love it. You will fall in love with the characters. I can't wait for Honeyman to write her second novel. It's expected to release in about a year or so. Tell me, what did you think about this particular episode? Tell me if you think this particular podcast is helping you. I don't give out ratings to people's work, but I would request you to give me a 5-star rating to this particular episode and this podcast, so that this podcast can reach out to multiple people. The algorithms and the applications can know that this has helped you and this is worth reaching to more people. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do not forget to hit a like to this episode. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Stay connected, because I am going to keep coming up with a lot more recommendations, not only in fiction but in non-fiction also. Stay connected with me on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, because at least on Instagram and Twitter, I keep sharing about my updates about what book am I reading, what TV series am I watching. So you probably will get a hint about what next can you expect on I Urge You To. I'll also keep sharing quotes on Instagram, and there's so much more happening. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I'll now see you in the next episode. I hope you get your copy of Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. Let me know. Tag me when you get this particular book for yourself. And for that matter of fact, in the description below, you'll find an affiliate link to buy this book for yourself if you would like to. If you choose to buy this book from that particular link, it'll help me. It'll support this particular podcast and this particular podcaster. So I would be extremely grateful for you to make that decision. Thank you so much. I'll now see you in the next episode. Until then, keep smiling, keep slaying.